For those of you who haven't yet seen, Season 3 of Black Ops 6 and Warzone have been delayed. But that's okay, we're not talking about Black Ops 6 or Warzone today. Today we're talking about the next game. We'll call it Black Ops 7, but it's the game coming out in 2025. You see, last week I made a video going over the Modern Warfare 4 leaks, which will be Call of Duty 2026. And in there, I mentioned some things about this year's Call of Duty game, Call of Duty 2025, and it seemed like a lot of people in the comments had no idea what I was talking about. And if you haven't heard already, there are leaks out there that essentially tell us exactly what Black Ops 7 or whatever they're deciding to call this year's Call of Duty game is going to be. The setting, who's in it, what takes place, and based off of everything that we know from present Call of Duties, we can extrapolate what's going to go on with this story moving forward as well. So let me start out with that. What do we know about Black Ops 7, what has been leaked, and what does it mean for the story of this year's Call of Duty? So the first thing that we know is that this Call of Duty game coming out this year is going to be a sequel to Call of Duty Black Ops 2, specifically taking place in the early 2030s. In other words, being somewhat futuristic, taking place 5 to 6 years after this game does. Now, as far as what I think this is going to be, I truly believe it's going to be 2031 is the year it'll take place, because last games have been 1981, 1991, so 2031 would kind of make a little bit sense there. Now, we also know that just like Black Ops 2, the main character is set to be David Mason. Now, there's many reasons why this is weird, but it's mainly surrounding what happens at the ending of Black Ops 2, because keep in mind, this is a sequel. So to start things out, the ending of Black Ops 2, there was multiple endings. And years ago, in like 2012, 2013, when Black Ops 2 was first released, this was believed to be the canon ending. The one where you go in and you shoot Raul Menendez in the end, killing him. When you do this, this triggers the release of a video causing a Cortus Die movement, creating an upheaval in the world, causing a world war, and people to immediately beget war once again. The second part of this was Harper. Harper was a character that you could either save or have die throughout the campaign, and him being alive was rumored to be the canon one. And believe it or not, there have been leaks that have come out saying that Harper will be in Call of Duty 2025 or Black Ops 7. Again, there's a weird part of that I'll cover in a second. The third part about this was people believed that Alex Mason was alive. So 30 years after getting shot by Frank Woods, he comes back and reintroduces himself to Frank Woods and David Mason, therefore being alive, and he could now come out of hiding because Raul Menendez has been killed. So this was believed to be the canon ending. However, this got all turned upside down when they announced that indeed Alex Mason was dead.
And this is where we can say, and we're canonizing, this is where Woods killed Mason. He was tricked into killing his best friend Mason by, Raul Menendez, who kind of set up all this stuff in Panama.
So yeah, Alex Mason is confirmed dead. Well, what this means is that that ending that we see from David Mason isn't the canon one. And in fact, this ends up being the canon ending.
I get it now. He loved you, kid. I know. This is the price we pay for what we do. I'm done, Sarge. Good. He's happy to hear that. You talking to the dead now, Sarge? Nah. They talk to me.
So in the ending where Alex Mason is indeed dead, David Mason ends up retiring. So assuming that the leaks are true, this means that David Mason would need to come out of retirement to go back and fight in the year 2030 or 2031 when this next game is taking place. So we can assume that that is one of the things that's going to happen early on. Now, that is confirmed. However, this is what they said about the rest of the endings in Black Ops 2.
Obviously with Mason dead, that tells you a lot about which ending might have been canon, but I just want everyone to know is we have a canon ending. We're weaving through who survived and who didn't, and you might see them at some point in the future.
Now, based off of Alex Mason dying and me knowing that there is only 3 endings as to what can happen with Menendez, here is the first one. And this is what happens if Alex Mason is dead, as well as you killing Menendez.
This video is triggered to play upon my assassination. Cordestier, you know how to proceed. My death will shine light upon ubiquitous darkness.
So David Mason still retires. However, the world falls into darkness as Raul Menendez is considered a martyr. This would set up a pretty interesting story after the fall of the US, the White House being burnt down, things along those lines in the year 2030. But again, this would have happened like pretty much in 2025, so it'd be 6 years after this. That is one possibility. One other one is if you capture Raul Menendez.
So I guess you're famous now for saving the world. It's very rare that we have a celebrity that has actually done something. You're not into a reality show, are you?
Oh, you got it, Jimmy.
Okay. So, I mean, tell me what this is like. It must be a great day to be you.
Yeah. And it's a bad day to be Raul Menendez.
This one is by far the lamest, and it really wouldn't explain what happens next in the Black Ops universe, so I think this one is actually the least likely. But then there's the most interesting one. The one where you capture Raul Menendez, but he doesn't stay captured.
You know, we invited Raul Menendez to be here on the show tonight, but he had other plans. Something about an edible.
Secure him. What happened to the lights? The fuck?
Security. Rise and shine, Woods.
That's an entrance. Started to think you weren't gonna make it.
Mi hermana Josefina.
Yeah. I've been waiting for this.
She survived the fire. For me. I didn't leave her. You took her from me.
What'd you learn from that?
What did I learn?
Now, up until this point, this is the craziest ending by far. Raul Menendez kills Frank Woods. He escapes, and therefore he could be one of the bad guys in Black Ops 7. And there's even like a sweet justice with this, as well as on top of that, Raul Menendez uses the necklace from Josefina on Frank Woods. So in other words, this could set up a really cool story where we want to get revenge for Frank Woods. That is why David Mason would come out of retirement. But here's the problem with this ending. This isn't where this ending actually ends. Now, before this video gets demonetized, let's just say he dropped the match. Now, based off of the leaks that I have heard, and again, these are leaks, not confirmed, apparently Raul Menendez was supposed to be in this game, but the problem is I don't know if you knew this, but the voice actor for Raul Menendez actually ended up passing away a couple of years ago. So that would either mean they have to use AI, which, let's be honest, they're not afraid to do, or bring in another voice actor for Raul Menendez, which I don't really think they would do. So I don't know if that has changed since the original plan for this game. But based off of the leaks that I've heard, Menendez might be returning. That's what the leaks are saying, at least. But all three of those endings are possible because the only thing that they confirmed is Alex Mason is alive. But that is not all we know about the year 2030 within the Black Ops and Call of Duty universe. So first off, in the year 2025, right after the events of Black Ops 2, there is a big problem with the European Union. It completely collapses. Now, because of this, there is essentially a Cold War going on, and the US created a multi-layered ballistic missile defense system that was leaps and bounds ahead of other countries, which again made some upheaval within the world. Also, in the year 2030, when Black Ops 7 is supposed to take place, basically 3D printing technology boomed, and because of this, the Asian economies throughout the world faltered because their economy was based around basically manufacturing things, but those could now be easily manufactured because of 3D printers, which means people could do them in their own countries just as easily and just as cheap. All of this rallied together to create something called the Winslow Accord. Now, that doesn't happen until the year 2037, but those early 2030s is when talks of the Winslow Accord began to occur. This is, of course, what we eventually saw in Black Ops 4 and Black Ops 3, and in the Black Ops 3 campaign, which takes place in 2065, we even hear mentions of Raul Menendez.
Essential supplies are low.
How are you still holding on?
You can thank Raul Menendez.
What? Raul Menendez was a hypocritical egomaniac who thought he could make a better world by fucking everything up.
After the strikes of 25, all Winslow Accord nations had to abide by the Allied Drone Defense Act.
So, assuming that Black Ops 3 is canon, and we can go off of what Black Ops 3 is saying because it explains what happened to Raul Menendez, there's more information in Black Ops 3. In fact, there is a terminal you can go up to, and in this terminal, it tells us that Raul Menendez was indeed killed in the year 2025, which caused Raul Menendez to be a martyr, and that entire movement that we saw earlier is what goes on leading into the Winslow Accord. So now we have a full picture of what exactly happened after Black Ops 2. So there is one other thing that we have learned, and it's actually in Black Ops 6, because at the end of the final Prestige, you unlock a character by the name of Samuels. This is a character who protects President Bosworth in Call of Duty Black Ops 2. Therefore, it might be a character that we see within Black Ops 7. Now, what's more interesting is when you read his bio, because in his bio, it says this. Eric Samuels was a part of President Bosworth's Secret Service detail and was responsible for safely transporting her through Los Angeles during Menendez's drone attacks in 2025, a battle which Samuels fought alongside and earned the trust of experienced CIA agents like David Mason and Mike Harper. Now we know that Mason is returning, but we didn't know whether or not Mike Harper was dead or alive. This tells us, since he is in the mission with Samuels, assuming that they're all in Call of Duty Black Ops 7, it means Mike Harper will be alive as well. So here's the story of Black Ops 7. We have Samuels and we have Mike Harper, who one's a part of the Secret Service, one's a part of the CIA, and then we have David Mason. He went into retirement at the end of Call of Duty Black Ops 2 in 2025 after the death of his father. However, something brings him back into the fold. But after the events of Call of Duty Black Ops 2, because of the death of Raul Menendez, the world is plunged into darkness with the Cortes Diem movement, as well as the world getting pushed into a Cold War with the advanced technologies that have begun to be created around this time. So we have a Cold War, we have the building of the Winslow Accords, we have the death of Menendez, death of Alex Mason, and David Mason coming back into the CIA. That's what it's looking like for Black Ops 7. So Hopefully this filled in some information. I'm guessing within the next few months, that is when we're going to start to see leaks, rumors, maybe some trailers, and even more. When we get those, I will keep you guys up to date. But for now, this has been the leaked story of Black Ops 7.
We are